So I never really liked science. And I know, why did I do a degree in it? Well, because I eventually liked it. Because science was always laden with these weird little lessons that you'd learn from and you'd be like, that's really cool. So, this is a video on one weird lesson I learned from noble gases. Alright, wait. What's a noble gas? Well, the noble gases are a class of chemical elements, and they make up the 18th group in the periodic table. They're odorless, they're colorless, and so they're really useful in applications where you don't want them to react with other chemicals. But what makes them so noble?
Alright, to explain that, I'm going to give you a 30-second crash course on this. Now, to all the chemistry aficionados among you, apologies, I know I'm going to butcher it, but this is trying to keep it simple so that everyone can be on board. So, there's this really important thing in chemistry called the octet rule. And basically what that means is the outer electron shells try to have 8 electrons in the outermost shell. And those are called the valence electrons. The reason why is because that's sort of how chemical elements feel satisfied. Now, the reason why noble gases are so special is because they don't need to bond or share or give electrons to any other element in stable conditions. They have this perfect shell by themselves, so independent of other elements. So take chlorine. This is how chlorine looks. It's a sad boy, and it has some negative energy. And it has a nucleus, which has protons and neutrons, and then it has 3 electron shells surrounding it. So the first electron shell only can have 2 electrons. That's the maximum it can have. The second electron shell can have a maximum of 8. Now, for the sake of simplicity, we're going to say the third electron shell can have a maximum of 8 as well. So, chlorine, however, only has 7. So it really wants to fill that last missing spot. And this is what makes it so sad, and that's why he's a negative boy. Now, sodium. Sodium is a happy lad. He's very positive. Again, you have his nucleus, protons and neutrons, and then you have 3 electron shells. First electron shell, 2 electrons maximum, same thing as chlorine. Second electron shell, same thing as chlorine, but then we get to the third electron shell, which has 1 electron in it. So you can imagine it as sodium has this spare electron that's left over. And so then sodium sees chlorine really sad and then asks chlorine, "Will you marry me?" And then what does chlorine say? Well, of course it says yes, because now chlorine is complete. And they react. And they form a bond called an ionic bond. So now let's look at noble gases. For example, helium. Helium has its nucleus, and then it only has 1 electron shell. And this electron shell has a max of 2 electrons. And so when other chemicals try to react with helium, they can't, because helium already has the maximum amount of electrons in its shell. Alright. How does this little element have anything to do with me and you? I want you to imagine this element is you. So let's imagine this tennis ball is you. A little happy, bright ball that's beaming and full of energy and happy. Let's see how you look like on a day-to-day basis. So this is your day. And these are all the different people that you meet on your day. So here's your teachers. These are your family. And say if you work, these are your colleagues. These are random people on the internet. And let's say these are your friends. Now, as you go about your day, you're going to be interacting with all these different people. And when you interact with them, they leave an impression. Now, depending on how impressionable you are, the impression will be bigger or smaller. Depending on how stable and secure you are, the impression will leave a bigger mark or it won't leave a mark at all. So as you go about your day, all these different things happen to you. You pick up a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You carry the emotional baggage of each of these conversations, each of these interactions that you have with people. Your boss says you're not performing well enough. Your teachers say that you're lazy and you're dumb. People on the internet say that you're ugly and that your views are stupid. Your friends say that you're just lazy and you don't work hard. And so now you're stained by all these different opinions of you, and you can't really see who you are. You only see yourself through how others see you. And now as you go about your day, you try and interact with new people. Instead of coming from a place of happiness and enrichment, you're carrying around all this baggage, and so you stain all these new interactions that you have, all these experiences that you're having in your day are now colored by this toxic energy and heaviness that other people have stained on you. But you've let them by reacting to them. And so there comes a point where you can't even recognize yourself from who you used to be to who you are now. You used to feel like you were this ball of energy and happiness, but now you feel this heaviness. You start to not be proud of how you're acting. You're starting to act like the people that you disliked because all their energy has colored you and made you into something that you're not. You used to be this bright ball of happiness, but now you're this stained amalgamation of other people's energy. And so how should this picture look like? How should this day be like? Optimally, this is how your day would look like if you come from a place of being more secure and more stable. People have all their different opinions about you. Oh, you're dumb. Oh, you're ugly. Oh, you're lazy. Oh, you're fat. All these different things. But when you're secure and when you're stable, this bright, beaming ball doesn't get stained. You protect yourself from those toxic thoughts getting into your head. You protect yourself from this toxic energy. You don't let people's opinion color you. You don't let people's opinion shape who you are. You hold strong to your values because you know what they are. And if you don't know, then you need to write them down so that you can remind yourself, these are my values and I don't let other people's opinions or the way they treat me sway me from my values and what I believe in.